Have you ever stopped and wondered what happens to that simple, pure happiness we all seem to start out with? So today, let's talk about a story that's probably familiar to every single one of us, the journey of human happiness, and maybe, just maybe, how we can find our way back home.
All right, so our story starts at the very beginning. When we're born, as long as our basic needs are met, we're just in it. We're in a state of total wonder. There are no judgments, no labels, no expectations. It's just this raw, unfiltered experience of being alive. It's a pretty beautiful way to start, isn't it? But we all know that somewhere along the line, things start to get, well, complicated. So what is it? What changes? What's the thing that pulls us away from that natural state of joy?
Well, that brings us to the first part of our story, the programming of the mind. See, as we grow up, something really fundamental starts to happen. We start getting conditioned.
So what in the world is conditioning? A great way to think about it is like this. Every single life experience, every lesson, every piece of advice, every little moment builds a set of invisible filters in our mind. Now, these filters aren't good or bad on their own, but they completely shape how we see and experience the world around us. And where do these filters come from? Oh man, they come from absolutely everywhere. From our parents and our teachers when we're young, to our friends and our partners as we get older. They come from religion, government, the TV we watch, the internet we scroll through, our jobs, the media. All of it is constantly shaping our beliefs. And the result of all this conditioning is that over time, our thinking can get stuck in a loop. We develop these routines, these automatic responses. And without even realizing it, a lot of us just kind of fall into a sleepwalk through life, totally on autopilot. Now, that autopilot mode, it eventually leads us to a really critical point, a place where things often get pretty difficult. It's that moment when the world we've built up in our heads smacks right into the world as it actually is. And this is the core conflict, right here. On one side, you've got your beliefs, that carefully built picture of how life was supposed to go. And on the other side, you've got reality, what's actually happening. When that gap between the two gets too big, that's where deep unhappiness can really take root. A lot of the time, this painful realization gets sparked by some major life event. Maybe it's a relationship ending, losing a job, or dealing with a serious health problem or financial trouble. These are the moments that can shake us awake and force us to look at that clash between our beliefs and our reality.
So when we hit this point of deep unhappiness, we arrive at a crossroads. We might not even be aware of it, but we're faced with a really fundamental choice about which way to go from here.
And from this moment, there are basically three distinct paths we can take. Three very, very different choices.
So let's look at these three paths. The first one is tragic. Some people find the pain is just too much and they give up. The second path, and this is the most common one, is to just stay asleep. This is where you double down on looking for happiness outside yourself. You chase more money, more distractions, more work. You're doing the same things, but hoping for a different result. And then there's the third path, the choice to awaken, to turn inward and start looking for happiness from the inside out.
And that third path, that's what this final part of our story is all about. Because it's not some big mystery. It's a process. You could even say there's a formula for real, genuine transformation. The journey kicks off with one absolutely critical ingredient, self-awareness. But, just being aware isn't quite enough. You have to combine it with its active partner, the actual willingness and effort to change. And when you put those two powerful forces together, self-awareness plus active change, the result is transformation. That's it. That's the simple but incredibly powerful equation for getting your happiness back. So what does self-awareness really mean here? It's the process of finally seeing those filters we were talking about earlier. It's about recognizing the beliefs you've picked up over your life and understanding how they're coloring your perception of, everything. So once you have that awareness, the change part of the formula comes next. And the really good news is there are so many tools to help with this. From counseling and meditation to things like yoga and breathwork. These are all just different methods for actively changing your internal programming.
And the result of doing this work it's profound. As you start to consciously change those old, heavy filters and beliefs, it's like a weight is literally lifted off your shoulders. You just start to feel lighter, freer, and genuinely happier.
And this brings our whole story full circle. See, the goal of this transformation isn't to become some totally new person. It's about reconnecting with that state of wonder and joy you were born with before all that conditioning took over.
So we'll end by turning the question over to you. Just take a moment and ask yourself, What filter are you seeing life through right now? Because just becoming aware of it, well, that's the first step toward choosing a different one.